Well, at least I have something in common with Dr. Bourbon. Bourbon, did I pronounce it right? I took French for 2 years, but I haven't used it in like 40. And Dr. Marti, he knows how to raise his hand and gets his questions answered. And you were divorced like I was and continued on in school. In any event, I'm going to try to keep it short, and I'm using my notes. First of all, I want to say it's really a privilege to be here today, to participate with everybody here and with all your students and the faculty. And I just want to say that sitting here, I always wanted to sit in the first and second rows at school all my life, but I can't really do it here, it's too low. I wanted to sit in the first row and second row because I always wanted to raise my hand to ask questions, because the teachers and the faculty had knowledge that I wanted, and I wanted that from them. But I was graduated at the age of 16, and when I graduated, girls didn't go to school. They weren't encouraged to go to college. I was told, well, you don't need it, so I went to work. But I did want to learn. It was like a sponge. I wanted to soak up whatever knowledge I could get, but I couldn't. So, however, I did get married at 21. I had 2 daughters, one of them sitting right over there. And I went on and became very active in a lot of activities in my community. And I participated a lot, always looking and searching where I could go and continue on. And all my life, I wanted help. And the one thing I can say to the students that are here is, reach out to your professors and your teachers. They're here to help you. A lot of students don't realize that. They're hesitant. But I did it, and I found out that that's what helped me get through a lot of the stuff when I went to school. And they're not going to know that you need help unless you ask for it. And you're going to be very surprised at the good responses that you will get. Now, you're all here searching for the same things, your students. Your program is a terrific program from what I know about it. And another thing I have in common is I went to the ACE program also at Queens later on. It's not hard. It's hard to go to school. Going to school is a job. It's a job like going out in the field and going to work in an office. But you're not going to get knowledge. Going out in a job, you're going to earn money, but you don't earn knowledge. And going to school, you earn knowledge. And that's what I always wanted for myself. And there were 2 things and 2 principles in life that I lived with, that I passed on even to my 3 grandkids, and that sustained me all this time. I used to say never until it's never. And life is nothing but an adventure. And so let me share some of my adventures. Adventures, of course, equating to experiences. I graduated from high school. Women, you got to stay in the house, get married. I told you that already. But in the activism that I was doing, I even went on the March to Washington by myself and went for a dream with Dr. Martin Luther King. But I continued to keep wanting to learn more and more. But however, sadly, after 18 years of marriage, I was divorced and I became a single parent with 2 daughters. But I still needed more. So what I did, I was enrolled in the Adult Continuing Education program, the ACE program at Queens College. And that's where that adventure began. I call that my adventure. I started to study for a BA in philosophy and comparative religions. And I would take 2 courses at a time, and sometimes 3. It was really, really hard. Many times I wanted to give up. I was working full-time in order to support myself, and I had to take care of my girls. I didn't have time, but I could not give up. My perseverance, your word, propelled me along. However, something got in my way and stopped me for 5 years. I had major surgery, and I had to stop. But, here's the first but. I picked myself up again, and it took me 14 long years to get through, and I walked down the aisle getting my BA degree. After a while, A little while went by, and once again I was driven to continue to learn. I enrolled in the master's degree program in urban studies at Queens. I was always interested in helping a lot of people and helping society and so forth. But here goes that but again. Fate stepped in, and I had to leave to take care of my sister, who had developed cancer and was terminally ill. I didn't continue right on after that trauma. You all waiting for another but, right? I wanted to learn more so that I could help people, and decided that law school was the way for me to go. I wanted to get the tools that I would need to help people in our society. So what I did was, I found out about CUNY Law School, which is under the City University of New York Law Program. They have wonderful schools, wonderful things available for everybody. And so what I did, of course, I had to study again. They, at their school, they were interested in public interest law, which I was interested in. But in order to get in, I had to study once again, to take the LSATs, to be able to be accepted. And so I sat down and studied. And you can't get into law school unless you pass that exam. And then my next adventure began. I went to school for another 3 years, working part-time because I still had to support myself, learning all the wonderful ways, getting the tools to help the people. And in 1991, I literally dragged my 3 grandchildren with me on stage to get my Juris Doctor degree. Here they are. See? Look. They came right along with me, and the reason I took them is, as little as they were, I wanted them to somehow, maybe hoping that it would roll over onto them. In fact, interestingly enough, my grandson, Robin's son Eric, is interested in law. And if you look in the picture, he's the only one looking up at Dr. Louis DeGraff, who's since gone, and maybe something rubbed off. But in any event, well, I've told you about them. I wanted them to go there. And by the way, all the 3 grandchildren are in college, and they're studying very hard, just like a lot of you students here. And you're all fortunate. And what I find in listening to Robin about the institution, I also acted in the Holocaust Center over here, that you are fortunate to be in this learning institution. This institution, Queensborough, encourages their students to fulfill their potential. And everybody has potential, but it's up to you to go for that potential. It doesn't come to you. You have to go for it. I found that out from my own experiences. Queensborough College is a vibrant and an alive school. It is a living community here. Take advantage of whatever Dr. Marti and all the others that work here, including staff, administrators, can give to you. And don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask. You'll be proud when you get through here, and if you can continue and do your work within a shorter time than I did, you will be proud of yourselves, and that's the most important thing, because you would have done it for yourself. Nobody else but you. And so I want to say I wish you all good luck. It was my privilege to be here again with all of you. And for myself, what I'm doing now, I've never practiced the law. What I did was go into other areas that involved where I could use my law. And right now I do mediation work with the New York Family Court Program, doing custody visitation hearings with people who are having problems with custody disputes. And so once again, Susan, thank you so much for having me. And it was a pleasure knowing you all, and I really wish you all good luck. And if any of you ever need me, I will be here available if you want to talk or anything. And that's all I have to say at the moment. Thank you.